What's happening, Crypto fam? Happy Tuesday. Good morning and welcome back to Look for Crypto. I'm Scott. It's a pleasure to have you here. I appreciate you taking the time out to consume the content, so thank you. This morning, talk about Gary Gensler and his little securities trip. Security. I feel sorry for Americans. I'm just going to say it. I feel sorry for Americans having this over them. Not that like securities and this kind of regulation don't exist in other places. I just feel like Americans get bent over the worst, really. It's harder for them to hide from it all, it seems. Anyway, Gensler's come about his crypto regulation. Bloomberg had a little chat with him. There's a couple of minutes of it on Crypto Eddie's Twitter. I found the other 5 minutes here on Bloomberg's website. We're going to watch it. We're going to see what he says. And then we're going to have a little chat about what he says. A fucking idiot.
Hearings and much talk about regulation from the SEC. Crypto platforms and exchanges have been waiting for the government to make its moves and provide more clarity on the rules of engagement. My colleague David Weston spoke with SEC Chair Gary Gensler in an exclusive interview earlier. Take a listen.
We do have a broad agenda, and crypto is part of that agenda. But it's an agenda really to make the capital markets work better for the investing public and for the companies on the other side, to drive more efficiency in these markets. As to your question about crypto, the agency is really just looking out for investors, and many of these tokens, I'm not trying to prejudge anyone, but many of these tokens have the attributes of securities. They're raising money from the public, and the public is anticipating profits based upon the efforts of others. And so we've brought a number of actions. We're trying to work with the various crypto platforms, the exchanges, the lending platforms to come in, get registered, find where we can to adjust our rule set to get the investor protection for the public.
As you say, you've encouraged the exchanges to come in and get registered. At the same time, a lot of them have not, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
At what point do you have to force it?
Well, no, it's because, look, if you're a platform and you have 75 or 100 or sometimes 5,000 tokens on that platform, probabilities are that a number of them, and maybe many of them, are what's called a security. And it's Congress painted with a broad brush, and it comes down to this. Are you raising money from the public, and the public's anticipating profits based on the efforts of others? My predecessor, Chair Clayton, the agency that I'm honored to chair at this point in time, is going to try to pursue investor protection, and if that means bringing greater enforcement actions, we'll do that, but it would be better to have these platforms come in, work with us, and come under the securities laws.
Do you think you've done everything you can under the statutes as they exist now? Do you need legislation in order to really go after and really get registration from those exchanges?
I think that the laws are pretty clear. It's laid out in the 1930s, and we have an ability to work with these exchanges using various authorities to basically tailor some of these, because these crypto exchanges and lending platforms have operated differently than the traditional New York Stock Exchange. But would it be helpful to work with Congress on some things? I've said this in the past around some details around transfer agents and others. Yes, but unless Congress says otherwise, we have to ensure there's investor protection in this space. And we're going to work with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, where there's some that are commodity tokens, because while many of these are securities, some may be under their remit, and we work together as two federal agencies.
What a load of shit.
SEC Chair Gary Gensler there to digest it all. It is time for our cryptocurrent segment with Shonali Bosick. Shonali, what do you make of Gensler's remarks?
Yeah,
and the daunting task of figuring out how to regulate crypto?
Well, that's exactly right, this daunting task here. On one hand, from a Wall Street perspective, you have existing financial firms very worried that the SEC is not going to be able to get a handle on the Wild West that's been created out of all of these crypto products. On the other hand, from the crypto perspective, you have them watching very closely, looking at what the SEC is saying is an attribute. An attribute is the word he keeps using of an existing security, so that they can use enforcement actions or add-on rules to new products that look like older financial products, Emily. So how the chairman starts to mold those existing rules into this new industry will be of critical importance to how they start to enforce and create new laws.
So I want to talk about, in other news, this $320 million.
Congress on some things. I've said this in the past around some details around transfer agents and others. Yes. But unless Congress says otherwise, we have to ensure there's investor protection in this space. And we're going to work with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, where there's some that are commodity to traditional New York Stock Exchange. But would it be helpful to work with Congress on some things? I've asked around some details.
He said the law's pretty clear on this. It's been written since the 30s. It still don't sit right with me, that. The fact that they're running off regulation, legislation and rule books that was written 90 years ago. 90 fucking years ago. Really? How much did they know about the digital economy back then, eh? It's absolutely ridiculous. It defines a security at one point as people investing money into a company and then expecting to get a return off someone else's word. That's his definition of a security.
And it's Congress painted with a broad brush.
The guy's fucking ridiculous.
Are you raising money from the public?
See, if you go to other water, I'll link them in the description as well, so you can have a little gander yourself. The term security refers to a fungible, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. It represents an ownership position in a publicly traded corporation via stock, a creditor relationship with a governmental body or corporation represented by owning that entity's bond or rights to ownership as represented in an option. If that's a definition of a security, no crypto is a security, because no crypto token, obviously there's going to be tokenized stocks and shares, that's going to be different. Yeah, they will be securities because they'll be exactly what this is fucking saying. But crypto stock, it's not a creditor relationship with a government body, and it's not a corporation represented by owning that entity's bond. It's a crypto token. Series 6, what's a security? Fuck your ad. Nah, I didn't ask for an ad, did I? So fuck off. In fact, we're not going to watch that video. We can get fucked, mate. 30 seconds advert. Suck my fucking cock. In fact, fuck your fucking website can go, mate. See you later. Get fucked. So what's a security? I'm actually not going to share the link of that other website now either. They can fuck off. Throwing ads in my fucking face. I just wanted to watch a video. 30-second ad. 30 seconds, mate. Got 30 seconds. A security is a financial instrument, typically any financial asset that can be traded. The nature of typically any financial asset that can be traded. So the dollar's a security, yeah. You know, considering the dollar comes from a private company, and how many dollars, you know, like they print it all they want. I mean, you could say that the Federal Reserve and their dollar is no different than XRP and Ripple, except for the Federal Reserve can just print it as much as they want, and XRP can't. Ripple and XRP can't. Which is the most moral, the best, the more practical there? And how's one a security and one isn't? Like, how's your cash not a security if typically any asset that can be traded, any financial asset that can be traded, that means everything of value is a security. Get the fuck out of it. Oh no, but not everything's a financial asset. I don't give a shit. Once it's got value and it can be traded, it can be treated as a financial asset. I don't like what you're talking about. Everything. We're going to regulate crypto and decide which is securities and which is assets and which is not. Everything's an asset. Everything's a fucking asset. Everything. It just, How important is it for someone? That little fucking bit of Velcro there is a fucking asset for someone, mate. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Someone need a nano, there you go, boom, nano. It's an asset. If that can be traded, why is it not financial? If we're trading value, like, these motherfuckers pick and choose what's a security and what's not. And then they go, oh, well, actually, there's a few securities. There's equity securities. Equity almost always refers to stocks and shares or ownership of a company, which is possessed by the shareholder. Okay? Equity securities usually generate regular earnings for shareholders in the form of dividends. Okay? So, no crypto. That's not crypto. Debt securities. Debt securities differ from equity securities in an important way. They involve borrowed money and the selling of a security. They are issued by an individual, company or government and sold to another party for a certain amount with a promise of repayments plus interest. They include a fixed amount that must be repaid, a specified rate of interest and a maturity date. The date when the total amount of the security must be paid by. Interest in bonds, banknotes, notes and treasury notes are all examples of debt security. Interesting debt securities. They are all agreements made between two parties for an amount to be borrowed and paid back with interest. And previously, derivatives are a slightly different type of security because their value is based on an underlying asset that is then purchased and repaid with the price, interest and maturity date all specified at the time of the initial transaction. The individual selling the derivative doesn't need to own the underlying asset outright. The seller can simply pay the buyer back with enough cash to purchase the underlying asset or by offering other derivatives that satisfy the debt owed on first. The derivative often derives its value from commodities such as gas or precious metals such as gold and silver, currencies and other underlying assets a derivative can be structured on, as well as interest rates, treasury notes, bonds and stocks. Derivatives are most often traded by hedge funds, blah 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 blah. Like what's always like there, what crypto's similar to them, what crypto jumps out as, oh, I'm a security, I'm one of them. And if you can think of one, why is Bitcoin not in the same boat? Why is Ethereum not in the same boat? Oh, Scott, they've not got a company. It's not a company. It's not a limited liability corporation. I don't give a shit. It's a community. Miners are gaining. And the more that network of miners and community progresses, the more my Bitcoin's worth. How's that not the fucking same? You're picking and choosing that XRP is a share of Ripple. Is ADA a share of fucking input-output global? Is it fuck? All these crypto companies that have cryptos need to do IPOs ASAP, in my opinion. Just get the IPO done. Then there's a security there, and you can be like, no, that's our security, mate. The IPO that we just did, and we released shares and stocks to shareholders. Company went public. The fucking crypto isn't the security. Stocks and shares are. Or the dollar is. The dollar is the security of the Federal Reserve. You better watch where you're buying your fucking dollars, mate. Like, how's that not a financial instrument that's traded? It's the most traded financial instrument on the fucking planet, the dollar. So is it a security? It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. I don't know whether they need to, like, rewrite the fucking book from the 30s or just tear the fucker up and fuck off. Like, literally, Gensler, whatever you're fucking Gensler, fuck off, mate. It's like, everyone just wants shit to fuck off. He wants regs, legislation on his terms, not the community's terms, not the investors' terms. Oh, we're out to protect investors. Get fucked. Get fucked. That's like a bully grabbing someone by the throat, breaking a fucking nose, while simultaneously telling them he's there to protect him and make sure no one else breaks his nose. So he did it first, just to make sure no one else did it. Like, what? Are you fucking crazy? You put me on my ass just to make sure no one else puts me on my ass. Okay. Makes fucking sense. Let me know what you think in the comments, because this has been going on now so much longer than I initially expected it to. And seems it's going to go on, or could possibly go on a hell of a lot longer than that. I mean, it's not even going to surprise me if it ain't done this year at the moment. Like 2023, before all this gets severe closure. Potentially. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. I do feel sorry for Americans, because I don't feel like we've got any of this shit lingering over us. The only thing, I don't give a shit about this, except on one little fucking bit of my finger. And it's how it affects the global price and the global perception. Because I couldn't give a shit about America, to be perfectly honest. I mean, if North Korea nuked America tomorrow, and China then they just obliterated it, I'd be a little sad for the people there that are knowing that. But it brought it on itself, mate. You brought it on yourself. You nuke Japan. You do this. You're fucking raping the Middle East, something rotten. With us as the UK being the shitty little gimps that we've become, just have to shut the fuck up and follow. What the fuck's gone on, man? What's happened? Where's the fucking peace that the UN said they'd instill? Drowning in peace. As Marty said. But seriously, America's becoming a fucking cesspit of bullshit. And it's fucking annoying. Look at the Rogan debacle. Ew, not even getting into it, mate. But yeah. The whole fucking planet needs cleansing. And I wouldn't be against starting with Gary Gensler. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure someone out there won't mind starting with me. So, it is what it is. Hey, it is what it fucking is. On that note, fuck them all. Invest in yourself. Invest in net of value. Live long and order a lot of it, mate. Never let it go. Get it staked, get it baked. Look after the pot till the pot looks after you. Fuck Gensler, you prick. Fuck him. Fuck him. Just keep stacking. Keep stacking. These motherfuckers just try to control the world like they always have. He's got people breathing down his neck saying, get a grip of this shit. He's just a puppet like the rest of them. So at the end of the day, I won't mind if he just fucked off. It'll be over soon. Just got to keep plodding on. Chase happiness. Wishing health and happiness on you and yours. Yeah. It's all we can do. It's all we can do. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good day. And I'll see you on the next one. We love crypto. We fucking hate Gary Gensler. But we love you. So take care. Peace.